Hey y'all, welcome back to Leslie's Mature Makeup and Beauty. Today I thought we would just kind of do a little get ready with me. I pulled out some kind of older products that I haven't used in a while, most of them anyway. And I thought I'd just tell y'all about camp and we'll just kind of throw on some makeup and chat for a little bit. I feel a little bit rusty. The video I posted, my last video that I posted, I had actually filmed before I left for camp. So it's been a while since I've sat down and filmed, so I feel a little bit off kilter, to say the least. But anyway, the camp that I went to was, it's called RFK, which stands for Royal Family Kids. And what it is a week-long summer camp for children who are in the foster care system. Now, I did not grow up in church, and I've really only been attending church regularly for like the last couple of months, but something just told me, well, God, go do this. One of the guys at the church that's good friends with my husband encouraged me to go, and I went, and it was absolutely the most amazing thing ever. I'm going to use this Moira Go Fly Travel palette. Just life-changing. I'm going to start with this shade here in my crease. I've already got some eye primer on, but it was amazing. I think we had like 54 kids, so I was what they call a big camper. And each big camper has two little campers. So you're responsible for two, well, in my case, girls. We had girls and boys, but we were obviously separated. But it was absolutely fantastic. Now, there were a lot of ugly crying at the end. I had my girls graduated because it's for kids age 6 to 12. And, if you're going to be 13, the next time camp rolls around, you graduate out. So both my girls graduated. But it's amazing how close you get to these kids just in that short period of time. And of course you interact with a lot of other kids. There's several times where everybody's together, boys and girls, and lots of swimming, and there's a lake, and I can't tell you where it was at because that's against the rules, but just an amazing experience. Now, I am definitely an outdoor kind of girl. I was very much I guess I probably still am. Now, I like to put my makeup on and get cute sometimes, but I love being outside. So, it was right up my alley. And, you did have a couple of breaks throughout the day. You had, some nap time and that kind of stuff. But pretty much from the time you got up in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., you were busy. The weather actually worked out great for us. It's been super hot here in Alabama, but it was actually kind of cloudy a lot of the time we were there. And, y'all, it rained every day. But it worked out. We'd have a little rain shower, and then when it was time for our next activity, we might have been pushed back just a little bit, but, we had water balloon fights and slip and slide, and we went to the pool and the lake, and, they had this inflatable, they call it an aqua park, but lots of inflatables on the water, platforms to jump off of. There was just something going on all the time. But it was just an amazing experience. I've never felt closer to God than I do right now. But I did, really take that opportunity because you can't have your phone with you, like in the cabins and that kind of stuff. You leave it up in the staff area. So it was really a great opportunity to just take a break kind of from the world. And I did, obviously, I'd text my husband once a day, text my daughter occasionally, had her send some pictures of the grandbabies because I was missing everybody. But for the most part, I'm going to go in with Escape in the outer corner here. It was really just, a break from the troubles of the world, really. But during some of our break times, I would just go. There was a little patch of woods right behind our cabin. And I would just go and sit in those woods and, just kind of be quiet and just listen to nature. But like I said, I've always been a tomboy. I grew up with, I had two brothers, and then all my cousins my age were boys. So we spent a ton of time outside. We had a creek that we would go play in every day in the summertime. We would spend all day down there. We would get up in the morning and we would be in the woods all day. So I enjoy that type of stuff. I cannot drive a paddle boat. We did discover that fact. But it was just an awesome time. And those children were such a blessing. There was one little fella that, obviously we have camp nurses. You had one for the girls' side and one for the boys' side. But, since I'm a nurse, if there wasn't a nurse available, I would just kind of step in and see what's going on. And this little fella couldn't, cutest little thing. He was younger, probably like 6-ish or so. He couldn't, I'm going to deepen that up a little bit with hike. They had some pogo sticks, and he couldn't pogo by himself, so the big campers would help him. Well, he hit his little belly on the pogo stick, and of course it hurt, and he was crying, and so I went over there and told him, I'm a nurse. I'm not the camp nurse, but I'm a nurse in real life. And we took a look at his little belly, and I sent somebody to get us some ice, and we looked and made sure there was no major damage there, and he was kind of starting to settle down a little bit, and I was just kind of sitting there beside him, and the little fellow leaned his little head over on me, and he looked up at me with the sweetest face and just said, "I love you." And of course I told him I loved him too, because he was just the sweetest little thing. But it was just an absolute blessing, and I cannot wait to go back next year. There were several things that I should have brought that I didn't, like multiple swimsuits that I have already caught a couple on sale, and I'm compiling a list for next year of things that will make it a little bit easier. Because Lord knows it was gritty and dirty and stinky in those cabins. And it was like sleeping on a prison cot. Those little cots were not made for grown folks, I tell you that. Or the bunks were not made for grown folks. So I need some kind of mattress topper for the next go round. But it was just an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I went. It really gives you a whole new perspective on life, and you just realize how blessed you are. I didn't have the best childhood, but it wasn't, could have been worse. And I feel like everything that happened to me as a child led me to be who I am today, and I think I'm pretty awesome. So I think I'm going to go in. I'm going to try Wonder on the lid here with a brush. We'll see how that does. But it was just awesome. Just awesome. Of course, I miss my husband and my grandbabies, but I got to see them when I got back. I was absolutely exhausted in the best way possible. And my husband always falls asleep before I do. But the first 2 nights that I had gotten back from camp, I fell asleep before he did and slept like the dead. But I wouldn't take anything for that experience. And like I said, I'm super excited for next year. I think I'm going to put a little of that on my finger. But it was just awesome. And then when I got back, my daughter and her boyfriend have started they've got a couple of bounce houses. One of them has water, and then the other, I think, has an optional water deal, but they were booked both days. after I got back from camp. So I had the grandbabies, and they are 2.5 and 10.5 months, so they are super busy. But it was so good to, see my grandbabies and my daughter, my husband again. Just really, and then having that week away from technology was just, it was awesome. Like, just kind of forgetting the world around you even exists, if that makes any sense at all. Yeah, I remember those shimmers kind of enhance my eye texture just a little bit, but not bad. And I'm going to use my Revlon Prime Plus Perfecting and Smoothing Primer. This is really good. I really hope Revlon doesn't go under. And my granddaughter is fixing to be walking at 10.5 months. Now, my daughter was a late walker, and then my grandson, he didn't walk till he was a little bit after 1, which is like, what his mom did. But that girl, she is a little suicide machine, but she is already standing up just, from the floor. She can get into a little squatting position and stand up. Now, she's taken a couple of steps, but she gets a little bit wobbly and then gets mad. And also, every time she stands up, she's trying to stomp on something. This child is climbing all over everything, trying to stomp on stuff. I'm like, girl, you can't even walk yet. What are you doing? What are you doing? But cute as a button. Oh, I missed them so. They just loved me up, and I loved them up, and it was... I was exhausted, but I was so glad to get my hands on those babies. And I can't believe that one, she's going to be 1 before I know it, and almost walking already. I imagine in the next week or so she probably will be walking, but I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Now, this comes with that dropper, but I had a foundation that I didn't like that had a pump that worked perfect on here. So, after much cleaning, I got all the foundation and stuff cleaned out of that one and put it on here. And it's a lot better. Because I found myself not really wanting to reach for this foundation just because it was so messy. So, I'm glad that I've got that pump on there now. And I remember, I feel like this shade might have been a little bit dark. I think I ordered it online and fat fingered it when I did and ended up ordering a shade that was a little deep, but the rest of my body's a little tan. So I think it'll probably be okay. And who am I kidding? I'm not going anywhere today. I was busy this weekend, and then the last couple of days I had things I had to get done, and cut some grass yesterday, and which I think it's going to rain on me today. I don't think I'm going to be able to get out and do much of anything. It's been cloudy all morning, but maybe I can catch a little break and get out and do a little something. I'm just not one to be trapped in the house. I hope everybody had a good 4th. If you celebrate the 4th, if you're here in the States. We didn't do anything. 'Cause like I said, we had the grandbabies, and we had them on the Saturday and Sunday before the 4th, and then we had a neighbor invite us to go to a pool party, but I was like, I have been in the pool all week. My hair needs a break from the chlorine. So we didn't do anything, which was just what we wanted to do. Oh, and the showers at camp was like the size of a doorway, which I know they're made for kids. And I am 5'9", and I weigh about $160, so I was just beating and banging in there trying to get clean. But really, I think being out of touch with the world for a week just made me appreciate silence, I guess. Just, which I know you can't ignore the world and what's going on, but it was just kind of nice to have a break from, kind of constant bad news and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to remember how this, I can't remember if this dries down all the way or not, but it's not, not a lot of coverage. I'm going to use a little bit of my Neutrogena color corrector. My allergies have kind of been, well, they stay flared up this time of year, really. With cutting grass all the time and just, in the summertime you spend more time outside, which I love, but it also, my allergies don't love it. I thought I was going to be excited about that Too Faced Better Than Chocolate or Chocolate Something palette, but it didn't look all that exciting to me. I'm going with a little bit of Lancome concealer. This is the Tinted Ultra Wear. I think they're coming out with a foundation with of a similar name. I want to say maybe it's going to be glowy, but I'm not 100% sure. I may skip over that one as well. I haven't seen anything new drugstore wise that has caught my attention. So now that I've got that pressed in pretty good, I'm just going to take, this is a damp, one of those pawpaw sponges, and just kind of press over the edges of everything good and make sure it all meshes together well. Well, our channel is still growing. I think when I looked, we've got, I think 289 subscribers. So if there's 11 of y'all out there watching that haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, because I've been compiling some stuff for a 300 subscriber giveaway and I'm excited to give it away. That still feels just a little bit tacky. I'm going to go ahead and finish off my eyes, and then we may set that down with a little bit of powder. And I think I'm just going to keep it super simple under my eyes. I'm just going to take a little bit of that crease shade, this fly shade, and just run a little bit of that under there. I think our weather is supposed to settle down a little bit. It's been super duper hot. I mean, more like August than like June and July, but probably going to get rained on today, which is fine. We need a little bit, but that means I can't get outside. Just going to do a little lash sensational and I'll be right back. A couple of coats of mascara on. Let's do a little clear brow gel. Now I did, before I started filming, I used the iMethod Beauty, like, I just used the pomade in this and used a, the little angled brush on the end of your spoolie to kind of fill in a little bit. I've lost Well, I've not lost it. I've just misplaced it, I guess. What's the difference, though, right? My favorite brow pencil. Not sure what I've done with it. Well, my whole area over here is a bit of a disaster, so it's in here somewhere. I just don't know. I don't know exactly where it's run off to, but... And then I think I am going to set this down with a little bit of powder. And I think I'm just going to use the Huda Beauty Pound Cake. I've really been loving this. Can't remember if I talked about it in my last month's favorites, but I'm liking this better than my It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores, and I get more for my money. I mean, they're both spendier powders, but I feel like this one is possibly a little bit more kind of smoothing for me than the It Cosmetics, and I get more for the same price, or close to the same price anyway. Now, I don't put it under my eyes because I have drier under eyes, and I just don't love powder under my eyes. And then for bronzer, I've had this for a couple of weeks or so. It's their new, ColourPop's new matte bronzer. I got the shade Avila Beach. This packaging is hard to get into. Like, it's got a little claspy thing, but it's like I have a hard time getting my fingernail under there. But it's got a nice big mirror. It's a really soft powder. I've been liking it. I don't know if it's, going to beat out my others just yet, like the new one from L'Oreal, and then like that one from Flower Beauty, my Milani. I feel like there's a lot of good affordable bronzers out there. Well, there's a lot of good affordable everything out there, really. But I think this has got a pretty good undertone. It's pretty blendable. I want to say it was like 14 or 15 bucks. I can't really remember for sure, but it's a huge pan. They had recently had a sale on some of their 9-pan palettes. So I grabbed that, the child palette, because I'd been saying I was going to grab it and I never did, and then I thought, well, it's on sale, let's get it. So I threw that in my cart and maybe a couple of Super Shocks or something. For blush, I'm going to use this Rimmel Maxi Blush. This is the shade Wild Card. And I've got to remember these are really pigmented. Easy to go overboard with this guy. But really nice formula. They don't have a ton of shades in this blush. I wish they would have more. And y'all know I like a little everywhere. But it takes just the tiniest amount and you get, it's beautiful color. And they're super affordable. And I always say I'm going to add just a little bit more, and then I add a lot of bit more. Love a blush. A good blush. So I feel like blush is one of those things that it's kind of hard to mess up. There's lots of really good. I'm just going to dab over all that a little bit just to make sure. Just to tamp that down a fuzz. Make sure everything's mushed in good. Which I think the blush I tried from Maybelline I didn't love a whole lot, but there's a lot of great affordable blushes. And then for highlight, I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. I've got the shade Opal. And the thing to remember about this one is it does dry down pretty quick. So just work one side at a time. But it's a really pretty, or I think it's a really pretty highlight. And I've applied this one with my brush, the fingers, you know, all kind of different ways, and seems to work good multiple ways. But yeah, it's just really, it gives you a nice kind of, and I do like this one. Sometimes I put it under my blush. I like it that way as well. And then for lips, since we're not too crazy on the eyes, I thought we'd do something a little deeper on our lips. I'm going to try this shade of the Color Stay Satin Ink. Now, I've tried this formula before, but this shade I haven't used before. So I'm going to go in with a little lip liner that's the same color as my lips. This is the NYX Nude Beige. Filled in all my lips with that. And we'll go in and see what this shade looks like. So have y'all done anything exciting this summer? Or have you got any exciting plans? Ooh, she's bright. Now these dry down to kind of a matte finish. But it's not, they're not uncomfortable. You know, it's a really, you know, it's not like the matte lips of yesteryear, I guess, that were really dry and crusty and uncomfortable. These, it's kind of like the Maybelline, like the vinyl inks and the, those matte ink crayons, like they feel good on your lips. But yeah, that's definitely a bright pink. I might have to adjust that with a little something. Let's have a little butter gloss and fortune cookie. Just lighten us up a little bit. Now, of course, putting a gloss on top of it, it's not going to last as long, but that's fine with me. It's definitely brighter in real life than it is on camera, this particular shade. I feel like it comes off a little brighter on me than it looks in the bottle, but still pretty. But yeah, that's it. That is our look for the day. I like that. I think I like the eyeshadow palette more this time than I did the last time. I mean, it does kind of emphasize the texture on my lids a little bit, but, you know, I don't care. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. I've missed talking to y'all. It's kind of like sitting down with an old friend and catching up. But hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment. I hope y'all have a fabulous week or weekend, whatever's going to be coming up, or heck, just have a fabulous year. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.